America. You run fast. You dream loud. You build cities that never sleep, and souls that rarely rest. You chase everything, power, validation, control, yet feel empty when you catch it. You scroll through endless noise, searching for meaning, but silence feels foreign. You fear standing still because stillness feels like failure. But listen closely. The noise outside will never silence the storm within. Seneca once said, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." And that, my friend, is the truth of modern life. We imagine losses before they happen. We rehearse pain before it arrives. We fear rejection before we've even tried. Our mind becomes the battlefield, and the enemy is the illusion we feed. Pause. Breathe. The world is loud, but wisdom speaks in whispers. You are so precious for being here right now. The fact that you clicked and chose to watch this shows your hunger for truth. Stay with me, because what you're about to hear is not just knowledge, but life for your soul. Please subscribe, like, and share this message so that others just as precious as you may also find this light. America. You've mastered progress but forgotten peace. You've conquered space but lost inner space. You measure worth in numbers, not in virtue. And yet in your heart you still crave something simple: stillness. The kind of stillness Marcus Aurelius found while ruling an empire. The kind of calm that can't be bought, can't be posted, can't be praised, only lived. He once wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." That line alone could heal a generation addicted to reaction. Because most of what breaks us in life isn't the event, it's our response to it. America has built towers higher than Babylon, bridges longer than empires dreamed, and yet the soul of man still trembles over the smallest insult, the slightest delay, the faintest criticism. Why? Because we were taught how to make a living, not how to live. We scroll for validation. We chase shadows of success. We measure joy by applause. But the Stoic knows silence is the loudest strength. Peace is power that doesn't shout. You don't need everyone to understand you when you understand yourself. There comes a moment in every life when you stand at the crossroads, to break or to learn to stop caring, to fall apart under what you can't control, or to rise by releasing it. Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you but how you react to it that matters." That's the foundation of freedom. And freedom isn't found in money, fame, or control. It's found in detachment, in the quiet strength to say, "This doesn't move me." You see, in ancient Rome, the Stoics didn't escape the chaos of the world. They mastered their response to it. They faced betrayal, war, loss, and loneliness, yet remained unbroken. Because they understood a truth most people in America still run from today. Peace isn't found in comfort. It's born in discipline, in the ability to stay unmoved when everything around you shakes. So America, pause. When you feel the rush of comparison, the noise of opinions, the pressure to perform, stop. You don't need to prove anything to anyone. Your peace is not a performance. Your calm is your crown. And the one who can sit still while the world races is not weak but wise. Marcus Aurelius ruled armies yet wrote in solitude. He had power, but sought inner power more. He led nations, but mastered himself. That is the real victory. The Stoic path isn't cold or emotionless, it's courage in silence. It's smiling when misunderstood. It's choosing peace over reaction. It's walking through chaos with calm steps. It's knowing that your worth is written in your character, not your comments. You either break or you learn to stop caring. You either fight every wave or learn to float. And when you finally stop fighting the things beyond your control, you'll discover that life was never against you. It was just waiting for you to let go. So breathe again. Let stillness return to your soul. Because the one who learns to stop caring about what doesn't matter finally starts living for what truly does. Epictetus said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." So master yourself, America. Not your surroundings, not your enemies, not your followers, yourself. And in that mastery, you'll find the quiet, unshakable peace the world cannot give and cannot take away. Please subscribe, like and share this message, because every heart deserves to remember this truth. You either break or you learn to stop caring. The decision is yours. The chaos within. Every morning, America wakes up to a rhythm, the hum of engines, the buzz of notifications, the chase for more. You rise with purpose, but somewhere between the first scroll and the last sigh of the day, something sacred gets lost. You chase success like it's salvation. You run after validation like it's oxygen. And in that endless pursuit, your soul, the quiet part of you, begins to suffocate. Every day, America wakes up to chase something: status, beauty, validation. But few wake up to chase virtue. You scroll before you pray. You compare before you think. And slowly the soul starts to forget what peace feels like. Epictetus once said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." That is the heartbeat of Stoicism, the art of mastering reaction. The world will never stop testing you. You cannot stop the wind, but you can learn to control your sail. Yet how often do you hand your peace to someone else's opinion? How often do you let the approval of strangers online decide your worth? America, a land built on freedom, now lives enslaved by reaction. We react to headlines. We react to comments. We react to silence. But reaction is weakness dressed in urgency. The Stoic knows response is where strength lives. Between the impulse and the action lies the pause, and in that pause, freedom is born. America teaches speed, but wisdom teaches stillness. The Stoic learns to pause between impulse and action. In that sacred pause, character forms. In that moment of restraint, discipline grows. That pause, that breath, is where the battle is won. When someone insults you, pause. When the world ignores you, pause. When success delays, pause. Because the one who pauses controls the moment, and the one who reacts becomes its slave. Marcus Aurelius, emperor of Rome, surrounded by war and betrayal, wrote quietly to himself, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." He ruled an empire, yet he bowed before his own thoughts. Not the throne, not the army, not the praise of men, but his thoughts. That is where the true empire begins. America, you've built cities that touch the clouds, but your mind still trembles at the smallest storm. You've invented machines that can cross oceans, but cannot control your thoughts for a single minute. You've conquered land, space, and wealth, but not yourself. And that's why peace feels like a distant country, unreachable but deeply desired. The Stoics understood something we forgot, that strength isn't in the victory, it's in the endurance. Not in shouting louder, but in standing calmer. Not in controlling others, but in mastering the self. Seneca said, "No man is more unhappy than he who never faces adversity, for he is not permitted to prove himself." You think your struggles mean failure, but in truth, they are your invitation to mastery. The storm that shakes you trains you, trains you. The insult that offends you exposes you. The delay that frustrates you refines you. Everything that tries to break you is simply asking, have you learned control? In this chaotic world, reaction is easy. But restraint is divine. It is in restraint that the warrior of wisdom is forged. It is in restraint that peace becomes power. So the next time your mind screams, "I can't take this," whisper back, "I will endure." Because endurance isn't weakness, it's wisdom dressed in silence. When life throws stones, build patience. When people misunderstand you, build stillness. When nothing goes your way, build faith. America, hear this truth. Nothing external is stronger than a disciplined mind. No chaos can break the one who has chosen calm. No insult can wound the one who no longer reacts. No failure can destroy the one who sees meaning in every loss. The Stoic doesn't seek a world without storms, he seeks the strength to stand through them. So stand, America. Stand taller than your worries. Stand calmer than your fears. Stand in the pause where peace lives. Because the world outside may rage, but the calm within, that's yours. And when you learn to protect that calm, you no longer chase peace, you become it. Please subscribe, like and share this message. Because someone, somewhere, is one pause away from peace. The power of indifference. America tells you to care about everything, every headline, every argument, every voice louder than your own. You're told to take sides before you even take a breath. You're taught that silence is weakness and that outrage is strength. But caring about everything means you stand for nothing. And slowly, without noticing, your peace is traded for noise. Every scroll, every post, every opinion feels like a call to war. But ask yourself, is every battle worth your peace? The Stoics would say no. Because not every storm deserves your ship, and not every insult deserves your reply. Seneca once wrote, "He who is brave is free." And bravery begins when you stop letting emotion dictate your peace. It's not about becoming cold, it's about becoming composed. Not numb, but clear. Because indifference, in its highest form, isn't apathy, it's discipline. It's the power to stand in the middle of chaos and say, "This will not move me." America, you've built a culture of reaction. Someone says something online, and it feels like war. Someone disagrees, and it feels like betrayal. But here's the truth, not everything deserves your energy. Some things are beneath your peace. Some things are tests, not threats. You can care deeply about life and still refuse to be destroyed by it. That's the essence of sacred indifference, the kind of strength that doesn't shout but stands. When the fire burns, you don't flee, you stay calm enough to find your way out. That's what Marcus Aurelius meant when he said, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it, and this you have the power to revoke at any moment." Look around you. America's culture is built on comparison. You measure success by the applause of others, not by the peace in your soul. You chase validation like it's victory, not realizing it's a prison. Because applause is fickle, virtue is forever. The same hands that clap for you today may point against you tomorrow. So build your foundation on principles, not popularity. Seneca warned, "A gem cannot be polished without friction, nor a man perfected without trials." Your discomfort is not your enemy, your reaction is. When you learn to stand still in the storm starts to lose its power. Because storms feed on your panic. They grow from your reaction. But indifference, real Stoic indifference, starves them. America, you must understand, silence is not surrender. It's self-mastery. When you don't respond, you haven't lost, you've conquered yourself. Because silence is not weakness. It's wisdom refusing to wrestle with fools. Think of it this way. A lion doesn't roar at every barking dog. It remains still because it knows its power. You must become that lion, unmoved, unshaken, untouchable. That's the Stoic way. The world will call you detached. They'll say you don't care, but they don't understand. You've simply learned what's worth your energy. You've learned that peace is a greater prize than victory in an argument. You've learned that control of self is worth more than control of circumstances. Marcus Aurelius ruled Rome, yet he understood this deeply. He faced betrayal, war, and loss, but his peace remained unbroken, because he knew that the only kingdom truly worth ruling was his own mind. America, you can rule a company, a city, a nation, but if you cannot rule your emotions, you remain a slave. True indifference doesn't mean you stop feeling. It means you stop being owned by what you feel. You still love, you still care, you still hope, but you no longer collapse when things fall apart. You no longer chase every wave, you learn to anchor. In this world of constant noise, the Stoic stands apart. While others shout to be heard, the Stoic listens to understand. While others react, the Stoic reflects. While others crumble, the Stoic endures. And this endurance, this sacred stillness, becomes power. Not the kind that dominates others, but the kind that dominates chaos. Because indifference is not the absence of care, it's the presence of peace. It's choosing not to fight battles that lead nowhere. It's walking away without bitterness. It's protecting your spirit from exhaustion. So the next time you are provoked, pause. The next time someone tries to pull you into drama, pause. The next time the world demands your reaction, pause. Because in that pause, your freedom is born. Remember what Seneca taught: the brave man is free, and freedom begins where unnecessary concern ends. So learn to stop caring about what doesn't shape your soul. Let the noise fade into silence. Let the chaos roar while you remain still. Because peace, real peace, is not found in control of the world. It's found in control of yourself. Please subscribe, like, and share this message. Someone needs to hear that peace is not passive, it's power. Learning to rise, not react. The Stoics didn't escape pain, they transcended it. Life hurt them too. They lost, they bled, they mourned, and they doubted. But they discovered something modern America has forgotten. You don't grow by avoiding pain, you grow by transforming it. Pain is not your enemy, it's your sculptor. Every scar it leaves shapes something stronger within you. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." Think about that. The very thing you curse, the failure, the heartbreak, the rejection, could be the doorway to your evolution. What blocks the road is the road. Every closed door is not denial, it's direction. In America, we are taught to chase comfort, to run from struggle, to believe that happiness means never hurting again. But that illusion is the reason so many crumble when life gets hard. Because real peace doesn't come from avoiding the storm, it comes from learning how to walk through it without losing your balance. When the Stoics suffered, they didn't run. They reflected. They looked pain in the face and asked, "What are you trying to teach me?" That's what modern strength looks like, not the absence of tears, but the presence of wisdom behind them. America is a land of dreamers, but many dreams die because people expect ease. They want progress without process, success without suffering, victory without virtue. But the Stoic knows ease never made anyone great. Fire does. The same way gold must face the furnace before it shines, your soul must face pressure before it glows. Marcus Aurelius ruled Rome yet faced betrayal, loss, and grief. Seneca lost everything he built, yet wrote letters that would outlive empires. Epictetus was born a slave, yet taught kings how to be free. None of them avoided pain. They transcended it by mastering their reactions to it. They understood, pain can break you, or it can build you, but it will never leave you the same. In America, people quit too soon. They stop believing when life stops clapping. They measure their worth by their wins instead of their will. But the Stoic learns to stand without applause, to love without reward, to serve without recognition. Because virtue itself is the reward. Seneca wrote, "Difficulties strengthen the mind as labor does the body." That's not poetic, that's practical. When life presses you, it's building endurance. When heartbreak hits you, it's building compassion. When rejection burns you, it's refining focus. Every challenge is resistance training for the soul. So when something breaks your heart, don't cry, "Why me?" Ask, "What is this teaching me?" Because pain doesn't destroy you, resistance does. When you resist life, you suffer. When you accept it, you evolve. Acceptance doesn't mean apathy. It means alignment. It means learning to stand still in storms and see clearly through rain. It means understanding that everything meant to test you was secretly sent to teach you. The Stoic doesn't suppress emotion. They elevate it. They turn anger into discipline, fear into focus, grief into gratitude. They rise from what others collapse under, not because they feel less, but because they understand more. Look at your own life. How many times did you think it was over, yet here you are, still standing? How many nights did you think you'd never smile again, yet somehow you did? That's not luck. That's resilience. That's divine strength working silently inside you. America applauds quick success, instant results, overnight fame. But the Stoic applauds consistency, because storms test the strong, but time reveals the wise. Anyone can shine in sunshine. It takes a soul of fire to glow in the dark. So when pain visits your doorstep, welcome it as a mentor, not a monster. When disappointment knocks, open the door and say, "What are you here to teach me?" Because every setback is a sculptor, shaping you into someone capable of carrying more light. Epictetus said, "It's not things themselves that disturb us, but our opinions about them." So change your opinion of pain and you'll change your life. Don't label it unfair, label it preparation. Don't call it punishment, call it process. Because when you do, you take your power back. And here's the truth, America. You either break or you learn to stop caring about what breaks you. You either surrender to your pain or you let it strengthen your spine. You either let circumstances define you or you define yourself through them. You have two choices: to crumble under the weight of what hurt you, or to rise above it with quiet, unshakable grace. That's Stoicism. That's mastery. That's freedom. So the next time you feel like you're falling apart, remember, maybe you're not breaking. Maybe you're being rebuilt. Please subscribe, like and share this message. Someone in pain needs to know this isn't the end, it's the awakening. Freedom from control. America, listen closely. You were taught that control equals power. You were told to plan everything, to predict, to perfect, as if life would bow to your will. But the Stoics knew a higher truth. You can't control life, only your response to it. And in mastery, every day people fight for control over outcomes, relationships, their image. But the harder you try to control what is not yours, the more you lose what truly matters: peace. Epictetus, once a slave, understood this better than anyone. He said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." Imagine that, a man in chains, yet freer than kings, because though they could bind his body, they could never touch his mind. His soul remained untouched by circumstance. That is true freedom. Not the kind sold by slogans or promised by politicians, but the kind born within a disciplined soul. The kind that says, "You may shake my world, but you cannot move my peace." America chases freedom in possessions, wealth and pleasure. But peace bought by comfort is fragile. Real freedom begins when you no longer depend on comfort to stay calm. When chaos no longer dictates your reactions, and silence no longer feels like punishment, that's when your spirit wakes up. Seneca once wrote, "He who has great power should use it lightly." And the greatest power is mastery of self. Because when you can govern your emotions, no insult, no loss, no storm can overthrow your peace. Self-control is the crown of the soul. Modern life feeds the illusion that you must respond to everything. Every comment, every post, every crisis demands your attention. But the Stoic smiles and says, "I choose my battles." Because reacting to everything is not strength, it's slavery. The wise remain silent when the world screams. They walk through noise as through mist, untouched, unhurried, unbothered. Think of it. A calm man in a loud world is not passive, he is powerful. Because he sees clearly while others drown in emotion. His silence confuses the shallow, but it comforts the wise. He does not need to prove his worth, he simply lives it. America, your storms are not outside, they're within. You fear losing control because you built identity on outcomes. But the Stoic builds identity on virtue. If you lose everything external but keep your integrity, you've lost nothing. If you gain the world but lose your composure, you've gained nothing. Epictetus said, "There is only one way to happiness, to cease worrying about things beyond our power. And that's the essence of freedom, to release what you never owned." You can't control opinions, but you can control your values. You can't control time, but you can control how you spend it. You can't control love, but you can control how purely you give it. The Stoic doesn't escape responsibility, he embraces it fully, but wisely. So when life feels heavy, ask yourself, what part of this weight is mine? Let go of what isn't. You are not responsible for how people perceive you. You are only responsible for how truthfully you live. Look around you. The richest people crave peace. The loudest people crave silence. The most connected feel the loneliest. Why? Because they've mastered the outer world but lost mastery of the inner one. The Stoic reverses this. He may own little, but he owns himself completely. And that ownership is divine. Even in chaos, traffic roaring, deadlines looming, hearts breaking, he remains still. Stillness is not inactivity, it's strength in focus. Like a mountain unmoved by the wind, like an ocean calm beneath the waves. That's the kind of tranquility the Stoics lived for. So America, don't chase freedom through control. Find freedom in surrender. Surrender not to defeat, but to wisdom. To the truth that control was never yours to begin with. The only thing that has ever belonged to you is your mind, your heart, your soul. Guard them fiercely. Master them daily. Because when you master yourself, you need master nothing else. And when you finally stand calm in the storm, smiling at what once shook you, you'll realize that no one can take from you what you no longer depend on. That is the highest victory. That is Stoicism lived, not read, not quoted, lived. Please subscribe, like and share this video. Because the world doesn't need more control, it needs more calm souls who walk freely through it. The still mind wins. America, listen. The world will never stop testing you. Every day there will be noise, opinions, confusion and pressure. But the battle is never out there, it's always in here. Inside your mind, where peace and chaos fight for control. The Stoics understood this long before the noise of our age. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." That is where victory lives, not in possessions, not in fame, but in a still mind. The war is constant between reaction and reason, between fear and faith, between noise and peace. Every day you must choose which side to feed. Will you feed distraction or discipline? Will you chase validation or virtue? The Stoic chooses stillness again and again until the noise no longer controls him. Seneca said, "He who is brave is free." And bravery begins when you stop needing the world to agree with you. You no longer argue, you act. You no longer explain, you embody. You no longer seek approval, you walk in truth. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." So be one. Be still, be patient, be disciplined. Let people talk, you keep walking. Let the world rush, you keep breathing. Let storms rage, you keep standing. Because every moment you choose stillness, you win. Every moment you stay calm when chaos demands a reaction, you prove that your peace is not up for sale. And when you finally stop caring about what breaks you, you'll discover a strength that no storm can shake. The moment you no longer depend on the world to stay grounded, you've already won. So stand tall, be slow to anger, quick to forgive, silent in conflict, steady in purpose, and free, always free in mind and soul. Because in the end it's the still mind that wins, not the loudest, not the richest, not the one most followed, but the one most grounded. Please subscribe, like and share this message. For the soul that seeks wisdom, for the mind that craves stillness, for the heart that refuses to break and instead learns to rise.